You're muted.
God damn it.
Still muted.
Hello?
Gotcha.
Hello? All right. Troopers and grinders, welcome to Newark Liberty International Airport. Want to know why we're at Newark Liberty International Airport? Because we're getting the hell out of Jersey. That's right. And where are we going? Louisville, Kentucky. Yeehaw! Let's have some of the fried pickles and grits. Yes, sir. Mm-mm. In front of a crowd. And I guarantee we already have a better UFC card
You're lagging like crazy, Hank.
than UFC 302. So I'm happy about that. Are you happy, Idaho Skatesman?
No. No, I'm not. This card was terrible. Deontay Wilder lost. There was some good fights, and we'll go over them, but
Uh-oh.
nah, for the most part,
Uh-oh.
these fights did not live up to expectations whatsoever, and it
What's
is kind of a bummer. So
going on?
yeah, you're lagging out
Hello?
pretty hard. You just want to switch to the phone?
Can anyone hear me? I'm sorry.
You might want to
Too
just
much.
switch to the phone.
Ready to hear y'all.
Yeah, he's out. All right. Well, what's up, Sean? Good to see you hopping in. I think this is the first time I've seen you in here. Um, I've been a Wilder fan since '09. Hell yeah, dude. I haven't been watching boxing that long, but it was a bummer to see Deontay Wilder go out. But at the end of the day, this is boxing, and that's just how you go out and fight sports. What's going on, Western Mass? Hank's back.
I'm here.
What's going on, my friend?
Hello. I'm doing fantastic. Why the hell is that dog icon? I'm here. And,
So yeah,
as
we're
you
gonna
can
go
see,
over.
I'm wearing the clothes of my new hero, Dustin Poirier, who got a
Your
horrible hero's
hero,
defeat.
gosh, you have a new hero in MMA like every other week. But
I know,
that's
it's
how
great, right?
combat sports fans are, and the promotional machine pushes somebody and they just hop all over him.
Yeah,
So that's
just like
surprising.
my top 10 list.
So we're gonna go through the boxing card, and first, what's he say? He got KO'd by a bigger guy, and yeah, he was clocked or cooked. Yeah, it was a bummer, but no excuses. Even though I'm a Deontay Wilder guy, no excuses. He's pretty much done. Not much really left for him to do. 10 title defenses, but
Mm-mm.
yeah, it's about time to hang him up. So yeah, we're gonna get right
Do you
into it.
think
We're
he's
gonna go over the
worthy
box.
of a Hall? You think he's worthy of a Hall of Fame
Hey,
induction?
go fuck yourself. That's all I gotta say. Go fuck yourself. You're being a straight bitch this whole time. I don't know what the fuck your problem is, but nice to see you, buddy. So
We got
yeah, we're gonna
beef.
go right on into the boxing. The 5-on-5. And
Let's go.
Queensbury kind of just ran away with
6 on
this
6.
one. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say I didn't do a lot of research for this card, and it showed because my picks were trash. And Hank did a lot of research, and that showed too because he got a lot of them right. Did you watch any of these fights, by the way?
Yeah, I watched every single one because I was invested at
Oh,
that
okay.
point. I made every
Okay,
single
cool.
pick. I made a whole monologue for each one, so I'm invested.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure because you
Was
said you
you
were
think I
gonna.
should do?
What's going on?
I can do the rundowns if you want me to.
Oh yeah, I just I didn't watch the Willie Hutchinson and Craig Richards fight, but I just remember that you said that you were gonna go to your friend's house, right? During
Yes,
the
but
fights, so I wasn't sure if you had watched
that
every fight of the night.
that was only happening during, I think, the main event, maybe the co-main event. But I watched 2/3 of this card, so I have the
Okay, and
entire.
you watched every fight of the UFC, correct?
Pretty much, or got a good summary from other people.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Uh, all right, sounds good. So go ahead and break this one down for us.
Okay. So I think I was sort of right in knowing that Willie Hutchinson would be more technical than Craig Richards and that he'd find his timing on his shots. But at the same time, I sort of knew deep down that Craig Richards was an animal and that he would push through a bunch of punishment and not let up. He hasn't been KO'd a lot of times. He usually loses by decision. And so that shows he's
Mm.
got a, tough leather chin. So when I see great footage of Willie Hutchinson knocking out his opponents in 2 or 3 rounds, I think that'll just apply to another guy who's had a loss recently. But I proved to be mistaken most of the time. Once that guy who loses by decision once again gets himself into a tough scrap with somebody who's supposed to knock him out cold. In this case, Willie Hutchinson was finding his shots early. He was beating up Craig Richards. At some points, he was just playing around, making little emojis here and there, running around, sticking his tongue out. But then Craig Richards started to turn on the heat, and he started cracking Willie Hutchinson with a few shots, and Hutchinson was not liking them. He was often darting away, finding his way off the ropes, and Richards was doing a pretty good job with the pressuring game. And eventually, I think by the middle of the fight, they started going tit for tat. Like no fighter was starting to have a real advantage over the other. It was a very even contest. And then as the later rounds started coming through, Hutchinson was finding more shots than Richards, having more of an output. I think Richards was gassing a little bit, but Hutchinson, he's got a hell of a chin. I thought with some of those shots from Richards that he'd actually get put out on his ass. I'm surprised he never got knocked down once because he was getting hit with some flush shots. This was a really great fight to start the card, very back and forth. Obviously, Hutchinson got a wide majority of the rounds from the fight from Richards, but Richards put up a hell of a fight. In a way, I could almost liken this fight to Poirier versus Islam, in that Hutchinson was doing a majority of the offense, but that doesn't mean that Richards didn't get in a blow or two, or he didn't survive a round and look decent every once in a while. So props to Richards for surviving like he usually does. Props to Hutchinson for staying calm and collected through most of the fight and not giving up when he was getting hurt to the body and to the chin. Both these guys are warriors, and they put on a hell of a show that Hutchinson, I think, got the better of.
And Hutchinson wins the WBC silver light heavyweight title. Wow, what a just accomplishment!
Doesn't
in
that just roll
boxing.
off the tongue? That rolls off the tongue,
That is
doesn't
just
it?
amazing.
Yeah.
We go to the next fight, which was Nick Ball versus Ray Ford. This was an excellent fight. Probably one of the best boxing matches of the year, right up there with Wardley Frazier, for some of the best fights I've seen this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I picked Ray Ford to get it done. I had never seen a Ray Ford fight though.
I saw a
And
few
I
highlights.
okay, and yeah, Nick Ball. My assessment of the fight is he's not a boxer. This guy is a straight up fighter. Like this guy is a fucking scrapper. A little undersized even at 126 pounds, but yeah, exactly. Muscle hamster ball. Yeah, like that's like like Sean Shirk, the muscle shark. Um, yeah, this guy he won the early part of the rounds. Ray Ford started to try to come back, and it was a little more competitive towards the end. But yeah, he kind of just ran downhill on him, and it was pretty impressive to see. Um, I wasn't sure if he would get it done because just from his last fight, it just seemed like he kind of gassed. And also, though he did look like he did win his last fight, Nick Ball. Um, I don't know. I just thought that Ray
Mm-hmm.
Ford, being the champ, would be the more technical like guy to get it done. I
Nope.
think Hank's back. What is your assessment of this one?
It's interesting because both guys fought how they fought in their last couple fights. On paper, looking at Ray Ford's last fight from the outside, not really watching the fight, it looks really impressive when he knocks out an Uzbeki boxer at the very end of the fight. But if you watch every round, Ray Ford was getting pieced up from the get go. Like he was losing in the exchanges. His timing was off. He was just a punching bag for like the first half of the fight. And then by the second half, he starts, reeling back, starting to throw good combinations. Heart of a lion. I think I said that about him before the card happened. and it's true. He bounced back. He was very resilient. And then eventually he just caught him with a few really good right hands that put the Uzbeki fighter away. Actually, he didn't fall to the ground. The referee called it off. But Ray Ford, he had to go through some serious adversity and get beaten up first before he could win the fight. And in a way, that was sort of the same story here, where Nick Ball was sort of beating his ass for the first 5-6 rounds. I'd say maybe even going into the 7th or 8th rounds is when Ford started to mount a comeback, because he was just getting figured out by Nick Ball. As soon as he gets pressured, Ford sort of crumbles and doesn't really have a lot of counter punches or responses. When Ball really has his guy pressured up against the ropes and is just clinching in the pocket and throwing uppercuts and dirty hooks. And so I think it took too long for Ray Ford to figure out Ball's style. Took too long for him to get the distance. And so he was just struggling for a majority of this fight, and then mounted the comeback as he did before. And, in Ray Ford fashion, all of a sudden he's in control and he's the one with more punches. I had it barely for Ray Ford. I had him up maybe 1 round, which is honestly miraculous given how bad he looked at the start of this fight. But once the judges' scorecards got read and Nick Ball was the winner, I wasn't angry with it, because I knew that Nick Ball had beaten him up for a majority of the fight. So congratulations to Nick Ball. I'm glad that he got some well-deserved justice for that robbery against Ray Vargas, and he can finally call himself a world champion. I'm not unhappy with this. I was sort of right in knowing that Ray Ford would be Ray Ford and mount his comeback, but I think he did it too late. So unfortunate, but happy for Nick Ball.
I mean, you can't be mad at either result because of the fight was just so great,
Really good.
Like I said, one of the best fights I've seen this year, and yeah, as Cool Breeze said, it was a bad day for the USA. Man. It was a bad day. We go up the card to Hamza Shiraz versus Austin Amma Williams. I was kind of like in and out. I kind of had fallen asleep. They took a while to roll the next fight out, I think. Or no, I think I fell asleep. I don't know. I fucking fell asleep during this fight, but I did see the KO, and I think didn't the ref just like stop it? He didn't actually go out clean.
Yeah, he finished the fight Ford style, beat him up, and then the referee called it off in the corner.
But yeah, either way, Hamza Shiraz looking really good, winning another silver title. So whatever.
One day he'll get gold. I'm so happy.
I mean, it's a middleweight title, so right now, well, yeah, like I was gonna say, right now, like 160 is probably one of the lightest weight classes at the moment in boxing. So yeah, I mean, who knows? He definitely could. I don't even know who the 160-pound champ is right now, but look great. Look great.
Yeah. I have a more pessimistic opinion about the fight. I picked Hamza Shiraz to win. I was 1-1 going into this. Hamza, he has really good sniping ability. He's got great precision with his punches, good timing. And as I said before, he's a sniper and he finds his shots. So great marksman. But the thing is, when he misses, dude, watch out. Because as soon as he throws with those long arms, and it takes him a while to sort of set up the big punches too, like that gives his opponents a perfect opportunity to time him with a counter hook. And I want to give credit to Austin Williams because he caught Shiraz on multiple occasions in this fight. Shiraz at some points was just swinging at air and thrusting his body forward, and no Jones. And Austin Williams countered and just cracked him on the chin and just put Hamza on skates on several occasions. Like he looked wobbled. He was wobbled, you guys. Especially going into like round 2, round 3, or round 4. Like I was seeing him get hurt. So that's a big warning to Hamza going into his future fights, that he needs to be very calm and patient and really work on his guard and try to learn how to throw punches with those long arms without overextending and potentially getting caught. Because if he keeps doing what he's doing with his fight style, somebody's going to have a smart enough amount of patience and timing to crack that chin and send him down to the mat. Like he's a fighter who's really good, but unfortunately he's a fighter who has a very noticeable weakness. So that's something that like future opponents and their coaches are going to be thinking about during training camp. He has to really adjust his offensive style. And
Well,
I think that's mostly just due to his frame as well as his reach. And you can't teach that. But for what he was throwing when he landed, he has an unbelievable amount of power, and he was beating up Austin Williams for a majority of this fight. So I got to give my props to him. But I know that there are some things that he still has to practice and work on, and there are some things that he just won't be able to practice.
maybe he'll be a get or get got guy, and definitely be
Exactly.
fun to watch his fights in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Move
definitely
up
going to be entertaining.
to Mr. Dimitri Bivol, getting his first TKO KO win since 2000. It's been 6 years, I think. If you don't count him beating up his wife last year. Um, yeah, he gets this guy Malik Zanad, and after the fight, actually, the most exciting thing Zanad
Noticed
did
him.
in this entire fight was he kind of like put his head like right up to Bivol as the round ended and kind of taunted him, and then he shortly after that got knocked out. So just kind of a can crush. Good for Bivol getting him out of there within 6. Turkey Al Sheikh said after the fight that he'll bring Zanad back, give him a good fight for stepping up and being a can to crush. And then I think he gave a date for Bivol and Beterbiev. So hope we fucking get that fucking fight, man. I really hope we do.
Yeah, maybe someday in the future, just like
I
Khabib
think
and
it's called
Khabib
hookups, Sean.
Nice. Well, let's head to that for our next podcast. Do a little live documentary. Um, the thing with this fight,
Well,
a little
you might not
surprise.
want that though. You might get mad if it's a documentary.
Wait, was that?
You might get mad if it's a documentary. We might be taking too long.
That's true. Yeah, it would take 3 hours or 4 hours, and then we're really putting chat through suffering, which would be nice. But the thing about that is that it's the first time in 6 fights that Dimitri Bivol has gotten a knockout against an opponent. It took that long, even against fans. So it was a miracle in Saudi Arabia. Dimitri Bivol just did what he always does against his opponents, pressures them, throws a flurry of punches, and Zanad didn't have much for Bivol. I don't know, man. He just outclassed Zanad from start to finish, and then eventually
Yeah.
found the timing to the point where he was just getting him on the chin, clipping him. Shocking. And then Zanad was sent up against the ropes. Bivol kept going at him like a bull seeing red, and he got him out of there. So not much to say. It's just sort of a squash fest.
Yeah, and like I said, you got to at least give him credit for doing what he was supposed to do, what he needed to do. Because if he would have went to decision with this guy, it would have been a bad day. And it kind of makes you a little bit more excited for Beterbiev and Bivol because you kind of got to finish finally. But I don't know, man. That's the only fight that we want to see Bivol in moving forward. So
yep. And then
um,
retire, bitch.
what's that?
and
Oh,
then
and then
retire, bitch.
retire. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
So the next fight is Daniel Dubois versus Filip Hrgovic. Holy fucking shit, man! This fight was fucking amazing. This was fireworks, man. Fuck, man. Hrgovic just just sniping Daniel Dubois with a 1-2 every single time he threw it. It landed on Dubois, and I was sitting there like, shit. Dubois is gonna get knocked out quick. Like he's gonna get out of there fast. And lo and behold, I was thinking he was gonna take a knee soon, right? The classic
Mm-hmm.
thing Dubois does. He always, takes the knee in the fight.
Yeah.
He's been labeled as a quitter.
Protest movement.
And I am so happy for Dubois because I wanted him to win. And he got it done, man. He fucking got it done. I mean, did you see Hrgovic's face at the end of the fight? I want to see if I can pull up a picture of it.
Look bloody and battered, right?
Oh my gosh, dude, he looked not as bad as Rebecca a couple weeks ago, but man, he got beat the fuck up. Daniel Dubois ends up getting the stoppage, doctor stoppage, late in the fight. Actually, not that late, but fucking amazing career-defining win, in my opinion, for Daniel Dubois.
Absolutely. He was dynamite this time around. He lived up to his moniker, and good for him. So you're telling me that Hrgović was able to crack him at a few points? Was doing well
Did
at
you
the
not watch
start
the
of the
fight?
fight? I did not. By that point, I was at a party. I took
dude, okay. I
2/3.
didn't realize. Sorry. No, dude, I don't know how he didn't fucking lose the fight. Like he got straight up was getting battered by Hrgović, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me see. I got the picture pulled up here. Come on, article. No, like seriously, like there was like no chance for Dubois in the first 3 rounds, and then as the fight progressed, he just started landing. Like Dubois just started landing on Hrgović, like just landing.
Wow.
And
What a comeback.
oh my, like, but Hrgović was still in it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he really thought he was like, oh yeah, whatever. Like I'm just gonna eventually he's gonna quit on me, and that's kind of what I think everybody was waiting for. You know, was for him to just kind of fold up. Here,
Sean is recommending AJ versus Dubois. What do you think about that?
I think that's actually supposed to happen.
Really?
Because Hrgović was gonna fight Dubois, and then I mean I have
And
a
then fight
picture
AJ?
here, but I don't think
There
you
he
can
is.
really see it. Hrgović was supposed to fight Dubois, or sorry, yeah, thank you. He was supposed to fight AJ if he won this fight. So I think that
took that
just
spot.
ex facto, you know, I don't know if you can really see that.
We can see it. He looks like he had a giant tomato smashed against his face, or his face became a tomato.
Dude, it was insane. I almost want to, since you didn't watch the fight, I kind of just want to pull up the punch stats from CompuBox. Let's see. But yeah, no, you should go. I would go back and watch it. Even, you know what I'm saying? It was that good of a fight.
So does that mean that he's the new Bronze Bomber? Gets beaten
No,
up and then he has one big
not
power
at
punch.
all. No.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like I hit a nerve there. I can't mention he who shall not be named.
Oh no, we're gonna talk about him.
Oh yeah, in 5 minutes actually.
Right. Yeah, but I don't understand. I mean, back in Wilder's title run, he's putting dudes out with one shot. This was a doctor stoppage, you know. So
tell him doctor stoppage.
And then Dubois like only 26, I believe. But I just want to bring.
Well, he's got a future then.
Oh yeah, certainly, and that's why in the preview I was like, you know, I got Hrgović, but Dubois could get it done. He's a young guy. He's coming up, but I don't think anyone was really expecting Dubois to win the way he did. Here, let's see here.
Now he's the interim champion, right?
Let me see.
Interim heavyweight champion. WBA maybe.
I think it's the IBF because that's the sanctioning body.
Yeah, that's right.
They stripped Usyk. Sorry, I'm going off on a little
tangent.
I think this is kind of important though.
Here we are.
Well, look at this. 15 to 66. That doesn't really tell the story of the fight. Let's go to power punches. Yeah, 13, 41, 22 to 50 in the second round.
Crazy.
9 out of 31, 8 out of 33. And then you can kind of see right there in the 7th round. 22 out of 36 power punches land for Daniel Dubois. Wow. And then the 8th round, I think, is where they stopped it.
It's like it was just a power difference.
I mean, like I said, he was getting sniped. Yeah, here we go. He says, Dubois surprised us all by not quitting when he got cracked. And Hrgović looked like he forgot he had to participate in the last 4 rounds.
Yeah, and I think Wilder that.
Well, I don't think he participated at all in the fight at all. Like,
That's
yeah,
true.
and honestly, dude, I don't understand this whole thing. Like, I fucking told you guys, Deontay Wilder's like my dude. I was riding with him, and yeah, the guy fucking looked terrible, and he got KO'd. I don't know what more you want me to fucking say. Like, it's like,
Let's finish our wrap up of Hrgovic. Poor guy. He was so close and yet so far. He was doing a great job until he wasn't. But that's the boxing game for you. And at any moment, one big shot, one
well, that's not really
perfectly
what it
timed.
was though. It's kind of just like a grind down of poor Hrgovic.
Mhm.
And I don't think Hrgovic has really like fought like too many like super known dudes up to this point either. So it's just like
He surprisingly fought Zhang at one point, and
I thought
came
he
back in
lost
a
that fight.
very controversial affair. Yeah, well, he won that fight, but it was an arguable decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's mostly been crushing cans. I remember his last fight. I picked him because he had the highest percentage rate of people saying that he would win. So
Oh,
you know,
okay.
he went from 0 to 100 with this one.
So
Actually, 0 to
yeah,
50 and still lost. But yeah, poor
I'm
guy.
calling for
And I'm happy for Dubois. And he's young,
Hrgovic.
so he's got a future.
One of them will actually win.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now I've spoken.
Got bullied. Yeah,
We
that's
get
all.
we get into the last fight here. Deontay the Bronze Bomber versus Zhang Zhili. So, or Zhang, just call him Zhang.
Mm-hmm.
Zhang throws the least amount of punches per any active boxer today, and Wilder throws the third least amount of punches per any active boxer.
They were made for each other.
So yeah, through the first 4 rounds, nothing was really happening at all, actually, and I knew this was going to be bad for Wilder because he was getting walked down to the ropes and he just wouldn't turn, he wouldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he landed a couple of like half-hearted punches that didn't really do anything. And by that fifth round when the knockout happened, he actually like was starting to come back and like actually like get in there and be a little bit more aggressive, but kind of to his undoing actually. He gets hit with a shot, he then turns his back, and as he kind of comes forward a little bit, he still sort of was turned.
Right.
Zhang just puts him out with a shot and kind of folds him. And Wilder beats. I mean, he sort of beats the count, but the referee had seen enough. And it was a good. I think it was a better way for him to go out than obviously me being a fan of
the frickin'
Wilder.
Parker.
Yes, than the Joseph Parker fight, because at least like I said, he was kind of starting to be like, all right, fuck it, I gotta go for this dude. But yeah, I don't want to see Wilder box anymore, and if he does, maybe you give him Francis Ngannou. I don't know, but yeah, I gotta eat my crow, and people gave me lots of shit for this, and that's fine, but when your favorite fighter, with one of your favorite fighters go out sad, I ain't gonna fuck with you about it like you guys do. So go ahead,
Yeah.
do
The
your
double
thing.
stick.
But honestly, it's just kind of annoying. But hey, good for you.
Let me show you guys something. Turn my screen around. Can you read this? Can you see the screen?
No. Oh yeah, here. Let me do this.
Here, let me try to up the brightness. Can you read the? Can you see the result? Oh. Wait, hold on. What the hell is it saying? Oh, there we go. Read that. I got it perfect. Zhang.
Yeah, you can't see the round 5, but yeah, there you go, man.
Round 5.
And our guy Hank got it perfect.
Yeah, so he did what he was supposed to do. He kept Wilder against the corner, punches and bunches, made sure that he was never at range.
Dude, there was no punches and bunches. Let me just tell you that right now.
Well, they went back and forth one time, and so that was the only highlights that they showed, and so I thought there was punches and bunches. But
no, there was no punches and no bunches.
Yeah, but at least there was a knockout, which was nice. At one point, Zhang hit him with, I think it was a left hand, We didn't get to see it. There were no angles for it, but it wobbled Deontay, and he was just walking away like, I'm done. Check, please. I'm out of here. And then he's like, wait, hold on. Let me tell you guys one more thing. Boom. Hit right into the right hand from Zhang. It actually sort of looked like the Naoya Inoue when Butler was running away from Inoue, and then he just hit him perfectly with that one punch while he was walking. It's so satisfying. I mean, unless you supported Deontay Wilder and you're a Deontay Wilder fan. It's so satisfying to see them walk right into it. Like, it's just the perfectly timed punch, final blow. And so that looked super cool. Zhang, I think, like at one point, like jumped over Wilder after hitting him, and then he walked off, and it was sort of like the bare knuckle finish with Mike Perry and Thiago Alves, where Wilder got to his feet, and then he had to walk towards the referee, and he stumbled, and that was enough for the referee to know that he was out, and he waved it off. I'm shocked that I got the round finished absolutely right. It's very hard to do that in a fight with 12 rounds. But I just figured that he would get him done before the later rounds because Zhang just has a lot of power, and eventually he would catch Wilder because I think with the lack of output that Wilder is producing these days, eventually he was going to be doing nothing, and then Zhang was going to find something. So props to Zhang. He's still very slow. I don't know if the extra pounds helped with the power. Probably did. But thing about Zhang, man, he's tough as a $2 steak, and he can throw his punches together when he needs to. So he did here. He has power. He's the Big Bang. So he literally has the power of the universe in his hands. And he eviscerated Deontay Wilder. At least it was fun in the end. And, it's not Deontay Wilder without him either finishing a guy in exciting fashion or getting finished in exciting fashion. So we got one of the two.
No, and like Cool Breeze says, the game retires everybody, but some people have real disdain for Wilder. Yeah, no, they're just racist. Tell you the truth, Cool Breeze. They're just racist piece of shit people that have nothing better to do but hate on somebody who's doing really well in life. And though Wilder, his 10 title defenses run against like the most credible dudes. I mean, I don't know how you can not appreciate a guy who making the heavyweight division actually exciting again, especially with his 3-fight run with
his trilogy with Fury was excellent. Great trilogy.
Fucking amazing. Stuff of legends. So he lost just about every single one, besides the draw. And really what soured a lot of people in my eyes is the way he handled the second loss to Fury. So people still bring that shit up to this day, that he complained about his suit being heavy. But yeah, you people that hate Wilder and just have like a real hate for him are just racist pieces of shit. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So that's it for Mr. Deontay Wilder's career. I certainly won't. And I didn't really care. I mean, I was like, okay, this is going to be the last one for him, like his last chance to really, really do something. But he did not get it done. So, yeah, we go on to the UFC card, which was pretty bad. Before we do that, anything of note from Deep?
Oh, there was a lot of good stuff on Deep.
And Andrew is calling you cute. Okay.
Well, I'm sharply dressed, but perhaps it's the repressed urge of Andrew B finally coming to the surface. In which case, good for you, man. Good for you. It's an open platform here. You can express yourself freely, except when you're in my property. Get the hell out. What was I even going to say? Oh, with Deep. Basically, it was the epitome of why Japanese MMA is great. Soccer kicks, knees to grounded opponents. A guy has another guy up against the cage for more than 5 seconds. The ref breaks him up, and submission immediately follows that when the guy tries to come in and lean again. So it's every reason.
Andrew's comment. Andrew, that'll never happen. I don't know what your matchmaking is the craziest I've ever heard in my life, but that would be certainly an interesting fight.
Well, they definitely have the same initials, so it makes sense in that way, grammatically speaking. But I don't think so in terms of weight. I think it's physically impossible, unless it's UFC 1. But basically, Deep showed what happens when you allow combat to actually be open combat and a fight, as Isha would put it. And Isha was absolutely loving it. the entire stream. He was punching his chair. The
I'm
fight
sure
was
he
propelling him
jizzed at one
out of
point.
his seat, off camera. Yeah, he was really Isha Helwani that night in the best way possible. The
Gosh, that sounds like such a
Japanese
diss.
MMA was too much for him to handle. He couldn't take it. So So it was a classic City Life
fuck.
Japan stream. And it just shows
Awesome.
that when you allow soccer kicks and when you allow knees to grounded opponents and when the refs actually are professionals and can do their job, it results in more fun competition. So,
Yeah.
But I know that Dana will never watch another Japanese MMA show as long as he lives. As long as Chuck Liddell isn't on the card, he's not watching Japanese MMA.
Yeah, I mean, MMA kind of sucks. In general.
Yeah.
Boxing is a lot better. Muay
Not
Thai.
in Japan, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's the exception to the rule, man. MMA in Japan is fucking amazing. We all love it. I just wish it wasn't on at fucking 4 a.m, you know?
Yeah, that's the only problem. I mean, there are some that are on at like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. So you can catch the first hour of that stuff on the weekends, maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough that I'm in a state right now where I can do that. And I'm sort of a night owl, so it helps too. And I will never miss a Naoya Inoue fight ever. He's the best. I love watching him fight, even when he gets dropped. So, you know, I'm sticking to the Japanese MMA schedule while I still have time.
Nice, yeah.
But I don't know if I'll be watching another UFC show again. I'm getting sick of that.
Yeah, this was not a great night for the UFC, and we'll kind of break that down a little bit for you. So, Andre Lima versus Mitch Raposo. He gets a. Was this a split? Hold on. Now I got my picks up here, so I'm gonna probably
It
just.
was a split decision.
It was a split.
I remember.
That's right.
It was a split.
Hold on. I'm gonna. So I got 9 out of 12 right. Hank got 10 out of 12,
10.
but
Mm-hmm.
our big contentious one was Paulo Costa versus Strickland, and I even told you guys that Strickland was gonna win that one, but I just had a feeling that Costa was gonna win. But via knockout, never happened. He looked terrible, and the fight was terrible. One of the worst fights I've ever seen. But we'll get into that. So that's kind of it for our predictions. Mr. Hank the Tank wins the day. His favorite fighter of all time, Sean Strickland, wins. And favorite fighter until
my favorite
next
for now,
week.
until the next guy gets a finish, and then he's my favorite.
Yeah,
fighter.
or Steve Erceg fights again, or some random person gets a title.
And then I'm
shot.
wearing the Michael Scott costume. Exactly. I have a mood ring, okay, and it changes colors all the time. So, you know,
that's what women have too.
I know. Maybe that's why I'm cute.
Okay, so we got it was a split. Sorry, I had to get the actual. So that's it for our picks. The actual result was a split. Though I will say that he probably should have lost the fight. The split decision is insane. Finding a card for Mitch Raposo is crazy, but he probably should have lost the fight because of all the fouls he committed. Like he should have got some points taken, and maybe this should have went to a draw. But what's your thoughts on this one?
Andre Lima went from a guy who was up against a dirty cheater that made him a sympathetic figure to the dirtiest cheater I've ever seen. Within a span of 2 fights.
Wow, even worse than Usamar Paul or Gilbert Yvel?
Yeah, those names that I would never be able to repeat in my life.
You don't know who Samar Paul or Gilbert Yvel are?
Not really.
Yeah, man, you gotta go back and check them out. Husamar Paul Hollers, probably dirtiest UFC fighter. Okay, and Gilbert Yvel, he's like the dirtiest fighter, like in old like Vale Tudo, fucking Pride, like he did some fucked up shit, knocked out refs and fucking. But Husamar Paul Hollers used to knee bar guys, and they would tap, and he would just keep holding it, and the ref would have to get in there.
And, now I remember him. Yeah, I'm glad he got flatlined. Piece of shit. Glad.
So I wouldn't say Andre Lima's the dirtiest fighter ever, or like that you've ever seen. That's pretty.
I'm not saying that.
Gerard Gordeau fucking literally eye gouged a man, Yuki Kondo, and made him blind. So
I'm doing it for dramatic emphasis, Idaho. Let me speak, please. So Andre Lima.
I'm not. I mean, come on, man.
He misses weight by 4 pounds right out of the
Right?
gate.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
He looks
Yeah.
sad with himself.
Fuck.
And then he decides, oh, you're a kickboxer. No, you're a kickboxer. He doesn't punch at all. He only kicks because it seems to me like whenever he was, standing and trading with Mitch Raposo, Mitch was actually getting the better of the striking. A guy coming in on 2 weeks short notice from a lackluster promotion against a guy who made it into the UFC, and he's a better boxer than him. So Andre Lima decides to just spam leg kicks like he's playing me at a game of Mortal Kombat, and he's that one annoying friend who only knows one move. And so he just keeps spamming leg kicks. They're working. I will admit that they were very successful. Won him at least 2 out of the 3 rounds. But I will say that in the second round, he was getting cracked by Mitch Raposo. And he was throwing punches that were landing on his head. I don't know why Andre Lima all of a sudden forgot to strike, even though in his last fight he was like throwing 150 punches per second. Now all of a sudden he doesn't know how to punch. So he kicks only. They do really well on Mitch. He's putting him on skates and leaving him frozen like Elsa. And then all of a sudden, halfway into the fight, oh yeah, I'm just gonna start punching now and not throwing kicks. It's either one or the other. Like somebody cut off his legs at some point in the second round. Now, all I could do was punch. I forgot how to leg kick, you guys. So, Andre Lima's a lost cause. He's going to be a lost cause in his next couple fights. He did not impress me at all here, except that he can kick pretty hard like a mule. But Mitch Raposo, man, I'm impressed. I am impressed by his performance, and I hope that he's still on call, on standby from the UFC, because he did a decent job. Hopefully he wins a couple fights and he can replace Andre Lima one of these days. It was a split decision. I think it was undeserved. I think it was pretty clear that Andre Lima won, but the evil little id side of me in the back of my brain was very happy that one of them tried to rob Andre Lima. Somebody tried to cheat him out of a win. It's
the judging
good
on this card was horrible.
Yeah, I'm actually that brings me to another little bit of conversation. Are these new gloves stopping these fighters from getting knockouts, or was the talent just so bad on this card that there's no way any of them were getting knockouts?
I mean, if we're gonna have a serious conversation about that, obviously not. But like, I don't think the gloves really change if you can knock somebody out or not. But do they stop eye pokes? No, and nobody. I don't. If you actually believed what Dana White,
we had an eye poke. First fight on this card, there was an eye poke.
If anyone actually believed that bullshit, you're dumb. You're dumb. But whatever. Yeah, no, it's not like they're stopping. I just think it was just matchup wise, and just a bad night, for the UFC in general. Hey, they sold out the arena. It was the highest, gate ever there in the arena.
Yeah, and having a convicted felon on for a majority of the show is really going to draw numbers and get people invested in the UFC.
Who's that?
He used to be the president.
Oh,
yeah, the fat orange man. One of these days,
we move up the card.
I'll be very happy when that happens.
We move up the card to Aline Perez versus Jocelyn Edwards. Aline Perez
visual
did. This was not like the worst fight. Aline Perez lands a spinning back fist in the second round, I believe, and some of the scrambles were pretty good. But yeah, Hank did a great job breaking down this fight. His prediction was pretty spot on, and Aline just kind of won the grappling exchanges and was able to get it done.
Yeah,
but she twerked at the end of the fight.
I was really impressed with the amount of reversals and takedowns that both women were able to execute. Aline Perez, she's really good at judo and sweeping the leg and turning Edwards onto her back and throwing her around. And then Edwards was really good at grabbing the head of Aline Perez and sweeping the legs and getting right back on top. Both these women were pretty big. I think they're bantamweights, right? I'm pretty sure they're both bantamweights. Let me see.
135. Yep.
And so there was a lot of bunda, which was nice. But also they were throwing their weight around, and whenever one of them like slammed the other, boom! It felt like a real impact when they got him down to the mat. So I really enjoyed it. I actually like when two fighters have a grapple fest and actually try to get the better of each other
Same,
instead of
same.
laying on
Especially
each
two
other.
women.
Yeah, and it's two women, so that helps. Cat fight! Cat fight! So Island Perez, eventually she forgot how to grapple by the second round after she got that spinning back fist. Molly McCann can finish her opponent with a spinning move, but Island Perez can't. This card was just too unfair. And after she didn't finish Jocelyn Edwards, she decided that she would never grapple or throw anything similar again. And they both tried their best to make the third round as boring as humanly possible, which is a shame because the first half of this fight was really entertaining. And honestly, after the fight, there was just a bunch of awkward shit because apparently they had beef going into this, and then they had to settle it for like 5 fucking minutes. And then Ellen Perez tried to, do some twerking, and looked like pathetic twerking to me. She was tired as hell, so didn't even get to grind on the wall with the twerking. So I'm disappointed either way.
So we move up the card to probably one of the best fights on the entire card, which who would have thought this would be one of the best fights? Basil Hafez gets it done over Mickey Gall, who actually, looked good in a loss, I would say.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd keep him around.
yeah, he dropped Basil, I believe, a few times, hurt him a few times, but ultimately it was Basil's, pressure and just, gameness, that really got him the fight. I don't know though. I think he's one to fade in the future. What about you?
I think this was a great back and forth fight. Props to Basil Hafez for at times keeping this on the feet. He's a tough SOB. But obviously, anytime that Basil Hafez shot a takedown or actually tried to grapple with Mickey Gall, he was throwing him around, making him a plaything like Woody from Toy Story 1. And he just had really good grappling, man. He obviously didn't lose the power that he had with the Jack Della Maddalena fight. Apparently, the lack of steroids did not hamper his grappling ability, or maybe they allowed him to juice. Who knows? We'll have to see in a week. But respect to Hafez for standing and trading with Mickey Gall at moments because that made this fight really fun. And Mickey Gall at one point cracked him. Also smart of Hafez, he got cracked and he pushed his hand down to get balance and just got right back up. So both these guys are tough and gritty, and good for them for knowing that this card was going downhill fast and trying to find some way to pick it up with the energy. So it didn't make didn't make the early prelims entirely unmemorable. So we got a good fight out of it. I think Basil Hafez did rightfully win, but Mickey Gall made it close.
Yeah, I think that they should have gotten performance bonuses as well. Move up the card.
Yeah.
Jake Matthews defeats Phil Rowe in a
snoozer.
A fight I didn't really watch because I believe Wilder was fighting at this time, or the boxing card was just ending or some shit. But I said in the preview, hey, maybe Jake Matthews is getting better. I think he could win, but I just felt like Phil Rowe would actually get the KO here, and that did not happen. I don't really have much to say because, like I said, I didn't really watch it, but I think that Matthews getting the win is just exactly what he needed, obviously. But I think he looked pretty good doing it, and I'm excited to see where he goes from here. Though I don't think he's like a future contender necessarily.
Yeah, me neither. I think Jake Matthews. I saw him talking about war and how MMA is about going to war in his post-fight interview, and that sounds like a Corey Sandhagen mentality if I've ever heard one.
Or Sean Strickland, but he doesn't actually deliver on that.
Yeah, exactly. He mostly just sticks in the iCarly guard and then turns into Israel Adesanya in the 5th round and tries to do some flippy flying shit.
That was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, that was cool. That was one cool moment of the fight. So with Jake Matthews, there were moments where he was getting very lucky with Phil Rowe tripping down and Jake Matthews getting on top. But I saw a new aggression from Jake Matthews. Like he was not off the gas throughout this entire fight. He was throwing and trading, and I don't think Phil Rowe could handle that. I don't think he gave Phil Rowe any room to breathe. Phil Rowe should have been the bigger guy. Should have treated this like Trey Waters against Billy Ray Goff, and been the taller dude with the counter punches and the greater advantages in terms of the reach as well as the height. But he just didn't show it. He fought like Neil Magny for 2/3 of the fight. and was getting taken down with ease pretty much by Jake Matthews, who is a decent submission artist and a decent grappler. With Jake Matthews, you just fought like a rabid dog, and I don't think Phil Rowe had any time to think about what to do next. And Jake Matthews took full advantage of that. He's turning into a little Aussie pit bull. So good for him. I secretly wanted Jake Matthews to win because I enjoy Jake Matthews more as a fighter. So good for him. I hope he doesn't put on a mediocre performance in his next one like he does every single time he gets a good win.
Right, and that's what we talked about in the preview. It's like every time he wins, we're like, wow, Jake Matthews. And every time he loses, we're like, I don't know about that Jake Matthews, because he loses like so bad when he does lose, and when he wins, he looks so great. So, yeah. Do you have like a matchup you want to see him in next, or you don't really care, just whoever?
I say just whoever. I say don't put him against a Michael Morales type where he has absolutely no chance of winning and then just teeter-totter. I'm in the same position in the rankings forever. Give him a little step up that might present him with a little bit of a challenge, but see if he's improved. Don't just put him against somebody who you clearly want to win. Like, actually give the kid some momentum, okay? See if he can spread his wings. I highly doubt it, but, give him a guy who can make it an even fight. Don't just make it a ridiculous squash match. What division are they even fighting at again?
Welterweight.
Well, what?
Bantamweight.
Welterweight?
What the fuck?
Welterweight. Oh, I guess so. I don't know. Some guy outside the rankings. He's not worthy of a guy in the rankings right now. But don't make him just some undefeated finisher. Come on now.
Maybe give him Basil Hafez.
Now that would be a fun fight.
That would be a fun fight.
Yeah,
I think he's a little too high up the rankings, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know. Who cares?
Whatever results in a fun fight, which apparently Dana has no
idea.
All
right, now we get into Hank's two favorite fights on the card.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm sorry. These fights are bad and
rotten.
Grant Dawson gets the decision win over Selecki, who actually cut him with an elbow in the first round. But then he just kind of grinded it out. Pretty boring fight, but in true Grant Dawson fashion, that's how he gets it done, and I think it was smart on his part, not promotionally wise, but I think it was smart, coming off of a bad knockout. So yeah, he gets it done.
I think Grant Dawson and Jailton Almeida switched places for this fight card.
Wow.
Yeah, with
Grant Dawson, starting to come around on Jailton Almeida a little bit.
Especially when it's in the top 15 to outside the rankings. He's actually sort of fun to watch. As soon as he goes any higher than that, it's when he's the worst.
I'm going to have to screen record that.
Thank you. You could add it to our one short that we have on our channel.
Okay.
I'm sure it would bring in a boatload. Cool. So with Grant Dawson, he was getting pieced up by Joe Selecki. I thought he would have decent striking. He doesn't have decent striking. We saw it against Bobby Green. He's a timid little field mouse. And so he decided, I need to take this to the ground. It's my only hope. And Grant Dawson did it for 3 rounds and didn't lock in any submissions. I had no belief that he would tap Joe Selecki, and he didn't. And he just grinded on him for 15 minutes. Not marketable at all. I'm shocked if he gets another advertisement with Dustin Poirier. At this point, the advertisement with Dustin Poirier is more entertaining than his actual fights. And they were a fucking fever dream, and I hated it. But it's better than this. So apparently the Grant Dawson who went against Damir Ismagulov is the Grant Dawson we're going to see for the rest of our days. So cut him whenever he loses.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, that's MMA, though. I don't know. I understand that it's boring. Like John Fitch, right? One of the most, longest runs and most, famous guys that went on a huge win streak doing that kind of style. And when he finally got the title shot, he lost, and then they cut him,
So that's what you got to do.
Yeah,
that's the approach.
Yeah, I don't hate that idea, but this is why.
I'm sorry, but the grapplers, no submissions kill their divisions every single time.
Well, no. This is why MMA in America sucks ass, because in Ryzen, you could just knee that guy right in the face on the ground, or kick him right in the head, or when he's on the ground, you just stomp on his face.
Yeah, stop him from pulling an Aljo.
And so look, it's like you can't hate the player, you hate the game. So that's the rule set in America breeding these kind of fighters. In my opinion, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's like I understand the hate, but
Well, the
at the
guys
same
that I
time,
can
it's like
blame for the game are dead already, so there's no point complaining
not
about
John
it.
McCarthy. Actually, not really. A lot of them are dead because MMA is actually only like 30 years old, bud. So.
Oh yeah. Well, they're dead to me.
All right, fair enough. We move up the card to Jelton Almeida versus Alexander Romanov. Hank nailed this one on the head, man. He said Jelton would get a submission in the first round. I didn't think that would happen. I thought it would be more of a grinding affair, and I think I picked decision officially. But props to you, man, and props to Jelton Almeida getting it done. I know that a lot of our associates, you know what I'm saying, in the City Life Project. Unless your name is JL, who is like a Jelton Almeida super fan for some reason. They
That's
just
not
hate
for
this
some reason.
guy.
It's a pattern. It's a pattern.
Yeah, well, they just. I mean, I went into Isha's stream after this to check his reaction, and he was like, "Yeah, it was fine, it was good," but he had like this visible, like visceral hate in his face. He was so mad. He was like, "I hate him. I hate him. I hate him." And I was like, "Dude, like
He saved
this
the
man's about to
card.
have an aneurysm." Like
Yeah.
I don't get the hate for a fighter. Like the genuine, actual, visceral hate for a fighter is fucking weird to me. It's weird. I don't understand it, and you
It's a
guys need to
projection of
fucking
feeling.
find something else to do to make
Yeah.
your lives happy. Because, I mean, like, come on, man. But at the end of the day, like we just talked about with Grant Dawson, it, did you notice on the commentary that when Jelton Almeida took Romanov down, I think it wasn't even 10. It might have been about 10 seconds. Joe Rogan and DC. Did you hear what they said?
Just shit all over him.
They shit all over him. They're like, oh, DC's like, I love wrestling, but this is fucking boring. It's like, dude, it's been 10 seconds. It's been 10 seconds. And then Joe's like, yeah, I'm about sick. I love grappling too, but I'm about sick of seeing all this
I'm ready for him to
grappling.
retire. I'm ready for him to
Yeah,
retire.
like, and it's like, okay, I get it. With his track record in his past couple fights, that he's been just grappling like a motherfucker and not.
They were expecting it
finishing
right
dudes.
out of the gate. They were
Right.
sick of this shit before it even started.
And they were fucking cooking him, and then he locks up the sub, and then after the win, they're like, "Oh, it sounds like he's been listening to the critics." It's like, what, you two motherfuckers? Like,
Yeah, they were yelling in his ear while he had him down on the ground.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's like, come on.
We'll get a finish.
And we'll get a little bit more into that in another fight up the card. But yeah, what was your thoughts? I mean, yeah, I'd have been stoked that you got the perfect pick.
Well, Alexander Romanov just had a too high a BMI not to get taken down and submitted in the first round. It's indicative of a lot of the tin cans that Jelton Almeida fought. And Alexander Romanov isn't even a tin can. Like, he's had some good fights with people on the feet and on the ground. But
He looked like incredible coming into the UFC.
I just noticed with Volkov, as soon as somebody gets him down, he just can't do anything. He can't get back up. He's too fat.
Kind of like a turtle. He's got that turtle build,
Yeah, and as I said before, he accepts the missionary. And so he accepted the missionary. He accepted the doggy style in this case, which was actually diverse. It was a variety in how he gets finished. So, Almeida had the back. We all thought this was going to be Almeida versus Blades all over again. In fact, I think that's probably why the commentators were hating on him immediately. Because he was just in the position. He was in the human backpack. He got the rear naked choke. That's a rap, as Aljamain Sterling would put it.
That's a rap.
And so, he listened to his critics. He got the backpack. Yeah. And the thing about Jelton Almeida is he let his neck go up. He didn't tuck his chin in. He was opposite day. And Alexander Romanov was like, up, down. I don't know which is which. Oh. And he got the neck right up. Right
like
into
Kill
his
Sonnen when he got subbed by fucking Tito. Their third fight.
Right into his big roided up arms, into those big ham hocks filled with spinach. And Alexander Romanov tapped. Really bad performance from Romanov. Too big, too heavy. And then when it came to defending the submission, he had absolutely nothing. And accepted it. He literally accepted the choke. So, Jelton Almeida, what a guy. What a guy Almeida is.
What's
Yeah,
up, JL?
okay. Reality just gave you a big old reality check, JL. Don't blame us. Blame the fight game, all right? Sorry, sister. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh shit, there goes Hank. Dude, JL, you made him leave. Look what you did to poor Hank. I bet his phone died or some shit like that. Oh, that was a great breakdown though. I'm gonna just go up the card to Kopylov versus Cesar Almeida. Um, this is another fight where I think Kopylov got a lot of shit for grappling. Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
What's
sorry
going
about
on?
that, Jay. Sorry. That's life for you. Maybe don't make bad picks and choose fighters that are boring as shit.
Wait, I don't get it. I don't think he made a bad pick. He probably had Almeida winning.
Yeah, exactly. Why would he
That's a
be
great
mad?
pick.
Why would he mad? He'd be mad. Wouldn't he be like, "Yeah, Hank, you got
I
it,
don't know
first
why
round
he's
finish."
mad.
That's what I said. Why? We're on the same wavelength right now, Henry. Hey, we're so happy for you, man. Great job. Instead, be
JL,
like, "Okay."
tell us what's on your mind, brother. We're here for you. We love you. You've kind of
Air
become the
out
butt
your
of a
opinion,
joke
Jay.
lately.
Again, this
He's
is a
like, I
no
said,
response.
okay, okay, all right, man, all right.
Yeah. Wait, are you accepting that I got the pick perfect and that your boy Jailton Almeida did it? So in that case, it's a triumphant hero's return. This is something to be celebrated, JL. He saved the card. Jailton Almeida's reputation is fixed. Okay?
I don't
There's
think it's
nothing to
fixed
be
at
sad
all.
about. Yeah.
Look, I'm here defending the guy, and I'm always going to defend guys like this. But at the end of the day, it's like you just like Hank said, his reputation in the eyes of the fans, yeah, has been restored, which is fucking crazy because MMA fans are so fickle, they're so fucking stupid, and they're so fanatic that just like any little thing happens and they're just like, oh my gosh. Um, so yeah, we go up the card, and that's actually a testament in this fight here. Kopylov gets the decision win, a split decision, which was just fucking crazy. I mean, Cesar Almeida did get totally washed. I thought he looked really good in the second round. I think you give him the second round for sure. But as far as fighting two
Yeah.
rounds for him, and wasn't one of the judges actually had it 30-27 for Cesar Almeida. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? There's no
Yeah.
way you can find three
That's a rigged
rounds.
scorecard. That is a rigged
Like
scorecard.
like I said, I could see about two, but like three, come on, man.
You
So
don't know the rule set, or you're corrupt. It's one
so
or the other.
from my eye, Kopylov looked good in the first. He was hanging with Caesar on the feet. He took him
Dropped him at one
down.
point.
He controlled him. Yep. And by the second round, he was kind of gassed and he was getting kind of cooked by Caesar. The body shots of Caesar were fucking really good. And actually, this fight actually kind of gave me more hope in Caesar Almeida's UFC career moving forward. But by the third round, it was just kind of more of the same, and the striking and grappling combination of Kopylov just kind of wore down on Mr. Almeida. What did you see?
I actually have a little bit of intel about this fight in terms of an injury that could have been sustained. Roman Kopylov was looking at his hand going into the second
Right,
round.
that's
The
right.
camera was zoomed in on it, and I think he told his coaches, like, my hand's done. I can't throw it. It hurts. And he was not throwing the left hand for the rest of the fight because I think it got injured. If it had not been injured, I could have seen Roman Kopylov just getting combinations again on Cesar Almeida, and probably his style got thrown off by not being able to use one of his hands. And so I think that's why he became so dependent on the takedowns by the second round. I wish I could have seen Roman Kopylov with two hands because I think he would have still put up a hell of an effort on the feet for the rest of the fight. But unfortunately, he didn't, and so he became reliant on his grappling game. If anything, this makes me more impressed with Kopylov in that he was able to implement the grappling game when he needed to. And so he actually has variety in his offense. So I'm happy that he got the win. Again, I just hate these freaking judges. I hate these referees. I hate these matchmakers in New Jersey. I hate New Jersey. So
Yeah, New Jersey sucks ass.
freaking corrupt, dude. Terrible officials in New Jersey. So let's never
Now,
go back there.
I know that you don't know, but I actually think they still use a different form of the rule set
Mm-hmm.
in New Jersey. I don't know if they actually use the unified, but I could be totally wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, and so JL's coming in with some heat. Says a broken hand affects your lungs. Okay, No, but like, I mean, you obviously are not going to be able to fight as good if your fucking hand is broken, dude. So, and I think the
Yeah.
gassing, was already kind of oncoming before then. But yeah, I saw a lot of people giving shit to Kopylov. Oh, what a fucking boring fighter! All he does is grapple. It's like, dude, you guys are so fucking stupid. And so I'm glad
He
I can
hasn't
do
been
this show.
grappling for his last 5 fights. What are you dumbasses talking about?
That's why I'm glad I can do this show just to shit on those people that are just
Yeah.
so stupid.
Yeah.
So Kopylov looked all right. I mean, wasn't his best performance, as you said. He broke his hand. Hopefully, he gets some time off to heal it. But when he comes back, I mean, what would you like to see for him?
I hope he doesn't turn into Arnold Allen, where he breaks his hand every single fight and
Mm.
complains about it afterwards. I say, you gave him a hell of a challenge. You gave him a big prospect in kickboxing, and he beat him. Not with style, but he did it pretty dominantly. Don't even, you know what? The split might have been just to throw off Kopylov and say, "Hey, see, he's not that good. We shouldn't give him a push again." But I think he's earning of another ranked opponent, in my opinion. Either that or someone just outside the top 15, because he's still really excellent everywhere. And he's exciting, and he's one of the few Russian fighters that a lot of people are behind in terms of
All
his
right, all right,
style.
I got one
So,
for you. What about Pereira?
Michelle? Oh, my God. That frightens me. That legitimately frightens me as a Kopylov fan. He'd get
Okay.
absolutely destroyed. So I'd give him a decent challenge that would make an even matchup, because that's how fights should be booked. Let me look at some middleweight rankings. Give me one
Yeah,
second.
let's do it. Let's pull up some rankings because now I kind of want to make a pick for him.
Because I actually
I'm
like
gonna use
Kopylov. I want to
I'm
see.
gonna use Tapology's rankings.
Mm-hmm. So throw out some names.
Yeah, let me get it pulled up here. Oh, I
Okay.
just saw one that I think is interesting. Okay, so we're gonna go to, let's see, where is he ranked here? On
Oh,
Tapology's rankings.
I got a potential matchup for him.
Oh, let's say it at the same time. Ready? One, two, three. Gregory
Chris Curtis.
Rodriguez. Okay. God,
Wait,
where
you
the
said
fuck?
Gregory
Okay.
Rodriguez? Oh, that'd
Yes,
be
I
a
did.
fun fight. That'd be super fun. That would be
So they
back and
got
forth
Kopylov
affair.
at 24. They have him at 24, and they did not have Cesar Almeida ranked. Um, so they have him ranked at 24, which is pretty low. This is Tapology. Actually, they have Paul Craig ranked above him, which I think is just insane. Um, Pfeiffer, he's booked against Mario or fucking what's his name, Marco Andre Barriol. They have Gregory Rodriguez at 19, Ikram Alaskarov at 18, Andre Muniz at 17. That might be the fight
Mm-hmm.
right there.
That'd be
Andre
fun.
Muniz.
You're sort of guaranteeing yourself. Oh wait, Andre Muniz.
Muniz, yes.
Actually, that would be good. That would be
I
good.
think that's
That's
the
fair.
fight right there.
Yeah. How do you think that fight would play out?
He says Muniz got injured. Well,
Uh,
Kopylov got injured too in this fight. So hey, when they're both healthy, run
they'll be on
run
the
it. You
same
know what I'm saying?
timetable. Yeah.
I would love to see that fight. I think Kopylov. I picked Kopylov to win this one. I thought he would look a little bit better than he did, but as you said, he broke his hand. Um, it's
It's
exactly the
just
kind of fight that Kopylov needs, right? Because Anthony Hernandez kind of out Kopylov. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think it'll kind of be a similar clash of style with a guy that doesn't have not quite the machine that Anthony Hernandez is. You
Yeah.
know, so
I
I
think
like that.
Roman would still win that one. I think
He says Ikram
versus
Alaskarov.
Roman. Oh, that'd be a
The
big
only
fight,
thing
but
about that
you
fight,
can't get rid of one of
the
them.
only thing, the only thing about that
Eliminates
fight
one prospect.
is that Ikram is already booked on June 15th, so that's already a terrible pick. JL, do your research. Um, but it's two Russians, right? And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but you hardly ever see two Russians fight each other.
No, you don't. I wish they would, but they don't. Well, they are going to
It like
have.
never happens.
They're going to have Pavlovich versus Volkov. That'll be fun.
That'll be fucking amazing. Fuck yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
No,
that'll
I
make
mean
a
I
great
love to
fight.
see the Russian versus Russian thing, but throwing out one example in the last however many years. Like it just doesn't happen a lot. So. And yeah, Ikram will do a quick turnaround. Like you said, he's injured, so maybe that can't happen. I think that Ikram is like on a little bit higher of a trajectory, me personally.
Yeah. It'd be sort of a speed
So I
bump.
think Kopylov's a little too low for him at the moment. But
Yeah. I think Muniz is a good test for Kopylov, whether he can stuff the takedowns.
yes, I want to see
I
want to see Muniz or maybe Gregory, but I think even Gregory, I think Kopylov needs a little bit of a step up. Even though he did just lose a step up fight. We move up the card to Randy Brown versus Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos.
I'm arguing with JL over frickin' grammar.
I know.
He might as well be a co-host. He's our co-host for the evening, our special guest.
Oh shit! It's my buddy Degenerate Dane.
And Degenerate Dane saves the day. Yay!
My fucking homie Degenerate Dane sent me a picture earlier.
Oh, what did you send him, Dane? What is Idaho watching? Oh, money
that is a jackpot that he hit at the casino. He won $3,000. Shout out to you, Dane.
Oh, and then the lady, if he wins.
The lady. Oh, let's see. Got another little nice little pot there. So, Degenerate Dane, he made some money on the UFC this weekend. I should have took his advice because I just kind of broke even.
Hey, he's said he's drunk and high, so he's truly a degenerate right now. He's engaged.
Oh yeah, my buddy Dane's always drunk and high. That's why I love him.
Nice.
No, actually, no, he's not usually drunk,
moniker.
But he is a stony man. Move up the card.
Maybe he could call himself Debauchery Dane at some point. That would work pretty well.
Hey man, don't be trying to change people's fucking nicknames and shit. All right.
Sorry. Thank
you. So Randy Brown gets it done against Zaleski. I thought that Zaleski looked like pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I'd expect it.
And I actually thought this fight was pretty good. And not great, but for the standard we got, it was pretty good. At one point in the fight, it was the second round, Rude Boy gets hurt and Zaleski gets his back, and I was like, oh shit, he's about to get it done. Hey, what's up, Weedy? We already talked about Deontay Wilder, so go ahead and say he's my hero or whatever you guys want to say. But
he's his hero. He's his hero.
Debauchery, jest, chemicals, and sex. I do gambling also.
I stick to the gambling.
That's why he's the degenerate. Got it. Makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, oh shit, Randy Brown's about to get subbed, and then he quickly turns it around and gets on his back. So I don't know what the fuck it is about Randy Brown. He's 33 at is he a middleweight or a welterweight? Let me see. Oh, a welterweight.
Well,
and he's huge for the weight class. So it's like,
yes. How do you get taken down?
I don't really know like what is up with Randy Brown. I feel like he could have finished Zaleski, but Zaleski's tough as nails. What did you see in this fight?
I didn't see anything because I was at the party at the time. But I did hear that it was a nice back and forth encounter with a lot of oohs and ahs now and again. Exciting stuff. Randy Brown looked all right enough to win the fight. It was the right decision to make, but he didn't impress as much as we thought he would.
I didn't think he would.
Do you see what trajectory do you see for him? What trajectory do you see?
Well, I'll just say like
someone who's just going to put his lights out.
Well, Vicente Luque already did. I've never really been high on him, and if you guys would have watched the preview show, you could have seen, how I kind of felt about him coming into this one. But I just don't know where he goes. I think that definitely anytime he goes up, in competition, he'll get smoked. But I heard some people saying like he just does too much, in the cage. Like he does too much.
Sometimes
he's flailing around. Yeah, that was not. He motherfucker broke homie's arm. What more do you want? Whose arm did he break?
This is not Kevin Holland. It's Randy Brown.
No. He's right. He did break somebody's arm in a fight.
Oh, so he is Kevin Holland. Nice.
Who was that? No, now you've got me. Who the fuck was? Oh, sub.
Here we go.
Oh God, here we go. He says, "Who the fuck was that?" Oh no, I can't remember who. Let me know in the chat who.
Explain.
Yeah.
We have
So
very high
and JL says
expectations.
high expectations. No, I did not have high expectations for this, and I don't think
Hey,
he.
we wanted this card to not be absolute garbage, but we were mistaken. Sorry if our expectations were too high for this masterpiece of a card.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about, dude. Like I. I didn't think that I didn't
JL.
have high expectations for this one, but yeah, Zaleski is just on the way out the door. I feel like, and a decent win for Randy Brown. You know, having one of the better fights on the card. Out of this just
Throwing them at this
terrible
point.
fucking card. I think he called out Jeff Hands of Steel Neal.
My name is Jeff.
Uh, what's that?
My name is Jeff. Sorry. Keep
I'm
going.
not a big fan of that matchup, me personally, because Jeff Neal's coming off of
No.
2 losses.
Yeah.
Maybe you go. I don't even know, dude. I say we go
How
down
about
in the
Kevin
rankings.
Holland? Kevin Holland. Randy Brown versus Kevin Holland. Battle of the tall, exciting, explosive boys.
I guess it
Or Neil
depends on
Magny.
if.
Neil Magny. One more
Uh,
challenge to Neil Magny's throne.
has he already fought him?
Maybe.
They have not fought.
Do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
fuck it. Fuck it. There, that's
Why
the
not?
fight. That's the fight to make.
Yeah. He's a good guy. He's
Only
a root
Randy.
boy. But
He says the
hopefully he
only
doesn't
Randy
break
Brown I recognize played for the Bulls in the mid '90s.
Yeah, that's the Randy Brown
That's
to
funny.
like.
All right, so we got our pick locked in there. Neil Magny. We move up the card to probably contender for worst fight. I mean, this was just such a bad fight. We both had Alex Morono to win. People in the chat told me I was crazy, that I should pick Nico Price at a plus 240 underdog, which in hindsight I probably should have, because the odds were so wide. And Alex Morono. Now we know, though, Hank, right? I think we
Yep.
can both definitively say Alex Morono fucking sucks, and
Absolutely.
we're never picking him again. I mean, I
He
don't know.
honestly should have lost to Court McGee, which is so sad to even say. It's that bad.
Oh, JL, here comes JL. That's laughable.
I've never seen you laugh. I have never seen you laugh once in my life, JL. I don't think you know how to laugh. All you know how to do is yawn or complain or be sad. I've never seen you laugh once in my life. So
yeah,
as soon as you learn how to laugh, let me know when something's laughable. Okay?
I give a lot of
Until
shit.
then,
I give a lot of shit
I
to
don't want to
Hank.
know. I want to see all 5 emotions from you before you can tell me what one of them is.
I give a lot of shit to Hank for just like announcing a man in the main event or co-main event as his favorite fighter. But at least the guy actually like fights and like does shit, JL fucking is the hugest fan of just like the most boring fighter. Like just pick the most boring fighter, and JL's the biggest fan of that guy. Yeah, Degenerate Dane was telling me, he's like, Alex Morono's win loss, so he's due for a loss. I probably should have picked him, but I just couldn't. If you guys watched the preview show, we gave our reason. Nico Price got knocked out in 30 seconds by Robbie Lawler, which I did say was probably a fixed fight, right? But
yeah, more and more likely.
Did you watch this one?
I saw some lowlights from it. I skimmed it, and Morono just jumps up and down and is like a little turkey when he's frightened. He just and then he tries to throw a punch and he fails, and nothing really lands. And Nico Price actually tried to win the fight, so he wins.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, Nico.
He had kids to feed. He had kids to feed. We learned this.
Yes.
The underdogs to pick
like I told
are the
you.
ones who have mouths to feed.
Like I told you, fuckers got set. I guess he has 6 kids, and the 7th is on the way, which is what I learned in the post fight. A headline from the post fight interview. I didn't actually watch it, but yeah, it was just the volume, the pace, and the cardio of Nico Price won him this fight. Nothing else. Not actual skill or anything like that. By the 3rd round, Morono looked like some fat New Jersey fuck that just ate a pizza or a fucking whatever the fuck they eat out in New Jersey. He looked terrible when he gassed, and I don't even know why he's in the UFC anymore. Cut him. Get him the fuck out of here.
I never thought that at the end of this fight I would say keep Nico Price and cut Alex Morono.
Cut Morono. Yeah, that's 100%. 100%. Yeah. Nico Price still has a little bit of juice left in his room or in his career, so good for him. Good win, and them kids getting fed. So we move on to Kevin Holland saving us all, saving us all. Uh, Immediately he gets knocked down by Oleksiejczuk. He gets kind of rocked and hurt and gets knocked down. Michaela decides, okay, I'm going to engage him on the ground. I'm going to go punch him in the face while he's on the ground. Worst mistake because Kevin Holland gets him in an armbar, and all credits goes to Michael Oleksiejczuk, who probably is totally done after this fight. But yeah, man, he gets in this nasty armbar, and
don't tap.
He does not tap. He gets his arm broken, and Herb Dean stops the fight, and he complains, but Herb Dean's like, dude, look, your arm's fucking mangled. And he's like, yeah, it was. So, yeah, that was an insane moment. And shout out to Kevin Holland. I told you guys that betting on Kevin Holland to get a sub was a smart, sneaky little pick.
Kevin Holland, when we bet on him by sub, he does not let us down.
Hank actually predicted the sub officially in his picks. I went with Kevin by decision. I thought this fight would go to decision, but holy shit. But again, as we talked about with Jake Matthews, Kevin Holland is that same kind of guy, right? Whenever he wins, we're like, dude, Kevin Holland. But then when he loses bad, and we're like, what the fuck is Kevin Holland doing? Right. So it's like, we don't really know where he goes from here. I mean, do you have hey, look, Western Mass, I have not seen this film study you're talking about. I'm not going to watch a fucking Bilal film study, but we're talking about a different
torture.
fucking card entirely,
that is
man.
Systematized torture. That is actual torture.
We're talking about some other shit right now.
Bella,
that's my MVP didn't go to the ground with Holland. No, I don't think Kevin Holland even tried to do anything other than kickbox. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say is, like, when he loses fights, we're like, what the fuck was Kevin Holland thinking? And then when he wins, we're like, holy shit, that was amazing, So, where would
his
you like
wins
to see?
His wins are amazing, and his losses are absolutely mediocre. So let's hope
he
wins.
Do you have any other breakdowns, or would you like to just tell me what you want to see from him next?
Well, I have some more intel for you. I don't know if it's true or not, but Kevin apparently said that it's sort of like, in a way, getting knocked down, where it's a combination of, he caught me flush and I was moving in the middle of it. So it wasn't exactly
a knockdown,
We'll talk about that. But me sort of slipping and getting hit. And so, I'm not going to say yes or no that was the case. It was a slip, brother. It was a slip, as Max Holloway would say. It did not count as a knockdown during the fight. It was not an official knockdown, but he probably got knocked down. Who knows? It's Kevin Holland. He's not exactly the most trustworthy character in the UFC. But the thing about Kevin Holland, he has great
on his off time, though.
He's got great grappling, and he's got good BJJ, and he caught Macau. Referee, Herb Dean gained his reputation from calling a fight after a broken arm, and now he's sort of a controversial ref for calling a fight with a broken arm. The question is, the great debate is, do you allow guys to continue after their arms have already been broken? Or do you allow them to continue and suffer?
Well, it depends on if their shoulder gets popped out of place, right?
Yeah.
Or if their arm actually gets broken right here. Because apparently you can break your hand, right? If you break this part, you're fucked. But if your shoulder pops out of place, they'll just let you go to the next round and pop it back into socket.
Yeah, that didn't happen with Ortega and Rodriguez. They stopped the fight after that. So it seems to be a very malleable rule.
And you're all good, Western Mass. Go off topic, but not when it pertains to Bilal, okay?
Apparently, not Bilal, for God's sake. Apparently, Kevin Holland didn't feel any breaks when he had him in the armbar. So
I kind of thought that he said, hey, Herb, it's broken, but yeah, I guess we can't really hear
he said he didn't feel anything. So I think this is going to be a big quandary, a big conspiracy theory. Everyone will care so much about this card and this fight in particular, guys. We really care.
Quandary.
Fuck this card. Fuck Dana.
I also like the word palindrome. I think that's a nice word.
That is a good.
Too.
Yeah, that is a good word.
What do you want to see next for Holland? He's kind of a tweener. He's middleweight. He's welterweight. But we'll match
No
make him
freaking
for
clue.
him at welterweight just to be safe here. You don't have any
Okay.
clue. I want to see him versus Abus Magomedov.
What?
I want to see him versus Abus Magomedov.
Why specifically that one?
Two guys coming off wins recently, and I think it's a good style matchup. You know, a guy who wrestles and a guy who strikes.
Yeah.
I think that Kevin Holland does really bad when he's against a guy who has a strength in one department. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When he's got and maybe that's what he needs. Like a guy with a really heavy grappling advantage usually seems to get him. A guy with a really heavy striking advantage usually seems to get him, like a Thompson or a MVP. So
yeah.
And it is a palindrome, Weedy. Good. Yes.
Keep him at welterweight. Keep him at welterweight.
Okay, you want to see him at welterweight?
Yeah. Who knows? Who cares?
He fights for
money. He fights for money.
I totally disagree. I totally disagree with you. I think that middleweight is the worst division, so he should fight up there. Me personally, but
yeah,
there is better fights for him probably down at welter. Hey, let's give him Pereira maybe. I don't know. Michelle.
Yeah, who knows? He'll take a paycheck, so put him against whoever.
You have no prediction? All right, I'm going to stick with my Abus Magomedov pick.
All right, Abus, let's do it.
All right, we move on to Hank the Tank's
Idaho's
favorite fighter of all time.
Idaho's favorite
No, this was the worst fight I've ever seen, probably ever. And I did have a feeling that Paulo Costa would win. I had a feeling that his only chance to win would be to knock Sean Strickland out. I was correct in that. Probably that was his only chance to win. The problem is this was one of the worst fights I've ever seen from both men.
Is it necessarily Sean's fault?
No, not at all. No. It takes two to tango. Both, and again, I'm not. When I say this is the worst fight I've ever seen, I'm not putting all of the blame solely on Sean Strickland because he was actually the guy moving forward the entire fight.
Yeah. Yeah, and he gave it its biggest highlight.
Yeah, with that weird little sequence at the very end of the fight. That was hilarious.
Cross kick. Yeah.
Yep. Kung Fu Sean. But Paulo, dude, I don't know what the fuck he was doing at all in there. And you know, it was a really terrible fight. Me saying it was one of the worst fights I've ever seen is a little dramatic in the moment, but it was just the same fight through 5 rounds, right? Like nothing ever changed.
It might age like a fine wine seen in a dungeon during the Middle Ages. Who knows? Depends on what happens. And
you know, Costa looked really good in this fight. Not in his fighting ability, but just that he's a good-looking guy. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that he has going for him. That's probably the only reason why they still have him in the UFC, right?
Yeah,
has to be.
I mean, it's not Leon Edwards. He has the most aesthetic physique.
That's hilarious. Western Mass, he's running backwards like on a unicycle.
Yeah, like SpongeBob after he fails.
Dude, I don't know what the fuck. I don't even know what to say because like Costa, as bad as Sean Strickland looked, and here's a guy who tells you he's gonna go in there to kill and to lose brain cells and to bleed, right? And then he goes out there and fights like that. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't understand how people are huge fans of this guy. And I do, because it's just what he says in interviews and outside the cage, everything he does. He's very politically aligned with the UFC. That was proven in his post-fight speech saying, what did he say? He was going to donate money to Trump's campaign. So again, I don't understand how this man. I don't understand how this man can be one of your favorite fighters. No, like seriously, I don't understand how.
I'm a company guy. You know,
I don't understand how he can be one of your favorite fighters. Like, I don't see it. And I think it's kind of weird.
I think
that people get so emotional and hyped up over these fighters. I even had this conversation with my sister before the fight. She's like, "I love Sean. I want him to win." I'm like, "That's fucking dumb. I
don't think he watches fights with Nina or the Schmo or the other guys because he is not the same Sean Strickland during the pre-fight press conference or the post-fight interview. He's just chill. Basically, talks about what he's thinking. Talks about different fights. And usually he's nice to the people who interview him.
Yeah.
And he's funny as fuck. And he's friends with Chris Curtis. And he did the do-rag thing. He'd had the Hennessy. Listen, man, he is a different cat outside of the
No.
octagon, outside of the press interview.
Let
He's
me
a
address
decent
this.
human being.
JL is exactly correct on this. Strickland does the same thing Izzy did, but it's a double standard.
No,
because Izzy's black, and people are fucking racist. People are straight up racist. Okay? That's the only thing.
Yeah.
People are just racist pieces of shit, dude. If a black guy does something and then a white guy does it later, everyone goes, "Wow, that was amazing! The white guy is the fucking best," you know. So no, people are just racist pieces of shit.
He does not. He is not absolutely horrible to his opponent on the same level that Izzy is. He literally says, "I'm here to."
Yeah, he did say that. I'm
doing little insults here and there. The only person that he went too far with was Izzy, and for the very good reason, because he is a piece of shit. And literally, the MMA community sent him videos of what to say at the press conference, and he delivered on it. He said that against a real piece of shit. Everybody else, like Paulo Costa's like, "Oh, I love Paulo. This guy's really funny. I love his memes, you guys." And then with Dricus, it's like all he had for him was, "Oh, your coach touches you. Ha ha ha. Let's sell the fight, man."
I just liked when he said, "I'm not gonna fuck you like Izzy did." That was really funny.
Yeah. Well, he's good at the fuck jokes. But
yeah, as far as the fight,
if you watch him at the shooting range and you watch him spar, the people who are in his camp and in his gym have said, "Oh, I love Sean. He's a great leader. He's a good guy, and I love sparring with him." And he has respect from guys in MMA. So
as far as the fight goes, though, what is your analysis of the fight, breakdown of the fight from your favorite fighter? Apparently,
Sean Strickland did what Sean Strickland did. He moved forward, he teeped him, he checked the leg kicks, and he threw jabs. He threw a combination every once in a while. I mean, that's what you expect from Sean Strickland. And he knew that his style worked against Paulo Costa, who has no technical ability. He's lucky that Paulo Costa showed zero aggression whatsoever. Because if we're being honest, he had the exact build that actually wins you fights against Sean Strickland. He's bigger. He has power. If he actually moved forward and tried to land combinations on Sean Strickland, he'd probably actually hit him a few times. And he did once it started getting into the 4th and 5th rounds. But then he ducked out like a pussy. He chickened out like a pussy and was on his little unicycle going backwards like SpongeBob SquarePants. And Sean Strickland, he poured on the aggression late into the fight. At least he gave us something fun at the end. And his fucking coaches, Paulo Costa's coaches, were saying, "You're up 2-0. You're up 2-0, Paulo. You're winning the fight." They coped and seethed on a level higher than Marlon Vera's coaches. So he needs to fire his entire staff for basically ruining his career with this fight. They made him absolutely boring and a coward for the majority of this fight. And Sean Strickland did what Sean Strickland did. When it's a guy who's running away from the fight, it's boring. And when it's a guy who's pouring on the aggression, it's a fun fight. So I don't blame Strickland for this. Sean Strickland's going to do what Sean Strickland's going to do. It's not going to be a fucking war, you guys. We're going to fucking bleed for you. It's not going to be that, especially when the guy isn't throwing any punches against Sean Strickland. Okay? So I blame Paulo Costa for the most part. I blame Sean Strickland for not being the aggressor in moments, not throwing when he needs to throw sometimes. That's always been his problem. So I'm not going to say that he's the main reason why this fight was boring. It's Paulo Costa's fault mainly.
And a testament to that, what you just said, is this is his 7th split decision in his career.
Yep. Sean split decision Strickland.
And there's Dane calling us casuals. That's his catchphrase at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to see for Mr. Strickland or Costa for that point? I can talk a little about that.
Sure, go ahead.
I want to see Paulo Costa go to the PFL, dude. That's what I want to see. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Sounds good to me. He's wasting his entire life here in UFC. He's already made his money. Just go to a place where he can make more money. And probably not get his face bashed in because all the people on the PFL are awful.
I mean, I think the only real fight for Strickland, just as JL says it as soon as I'm thinking it, is the winner of Whitaker and Hamzat. But, this is probably what's going to happen.
He's a loser. Losers shouldn't get winners.
No, not Costa, for Strickland.
Strickland, yeah.
He's a loser too, though, to be fair. He is a loser too. The problem with that is that if Hamzat wins, he's getting a title shot immediately. So.
Yeah. So, Strickland said in his post-fight interview that he wanted to just wait it out because they gave it to Izzy, who has beaten nobody since he lost to Strickland and has gotten instant rematches before, and now is getting his second, third instant rematch when he absolutely doesn't deserve it. So Sean's like, hey, I'm going to treat this fight game like fucking Izzy, and I'll just
what do you
stay
mean
out.
an instant rematch? Him and DDP have never fought.
What? Yeah, not an instant. Yeah, well, he gave him an instant title shot immediately when the opportunity allowed for it. They're like, oh, he's beaten nobody, but hey, he's our star, so we'll put him in the title picture, just to sell the fight, make our money. But no, makes no sense sports wise. So Strickland's just basically going to play their game and stay out until he gets his title shot, which I don't blame him at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a guy who fights a lot, really active, and he kind of just fights anywhere in the apex or whatever the fuck. So I don't blame him for wanting to sit out either. We move on to the main event to wrap up this terrible card. Islam Makhachev, not Makachev. Okay, I don't know why people still fucking think Islam's last name is a Makachev. Okay, you guys are retarded. Sorry. Islam gets it done with a Darce choke in the 5th round against one Dustin the Diamond Poirier. Give us your thoughts on this one.
Give me a second. I got a message.
Got to respond to JL.
Yeah, and his litany of bad comments.
I mean, you literally could just respond to him as we're talking, but you don't have to actually.
I know, but there's a million comments in here, and there are other guys who are giving comments too. Okay,
ooh, I love this.
The dead air, folks. Okay,
I love this, Dane. I love this. Costa versus Till and BKFC. You win comment of the day, my friend.
Yeah, Costa jumps out of the ring and Till hurts his ACL and is in agony on the floor.
I would love to see that.
So with this fight, so first of all, as soon as Makhachev got Poirier down, I thought, uh-oh, this is it. Now he's going to find the back, going to get the choke. It's over. Sooner than I thought it would be. But the thing about Poirier, man, he must have been training hip escapes and fighting the hands. That must have been his sole training going into this, because he was actually fantastic at avoiding the submissions and staying in guard and not allowing any room for Islam to get the chokes. And he didn't allow it for 4 rounds out of 5. And sometimes he waited it out. Sometimes he actually got out of the backpack. Sometimes he got out of the full guard, which was really impressive. Pushed himself over and on top of Islam. I actually was wondering how it would go if Dustin, when he turned himself around, if he actually tried to stay on Islam and tried to stay on top and batter him and try some ground and pound. In my opinion, that was his only chance at ever landing any solid offense on Islam, because once they got to the feet, Makhachev's sambo was just a perfect guard for Poirier's punches. If Makhachev throws at the same time that Poirier does, his fists are landing on the guard of Islam Makhachev. So I thought that Diamond would have a chance as soon as he was escaping the takedowns and escaping the submission. He just had nothing for Makhachev on the feet. Absolutely nothing. I mean, there were points where he hit him with the jab every once in a while and caught him by surprise, but to me, from what I saw, there was absolutely no chance that Dustin Poirier got a standing knockout on Islam Makhachev. He's too tough. His guard's too thick. Not even body shots would work on him. So it was just a battle. It was a lifeless battle for Dustin Poirier. There was no chance of him getting the knockout, in my opinion. Could he have survived and maybe squeaked a judge's decision? Yes, because one judge had it 2-2 for Poirier going into the 5th. So yeah, with fucking Sal D'Amato there. So there was a chance that he could have won one judge's scorecard if the fight went all 5 rounds. But in my opinion, Poirier did not present anything on the feet. So what was supposed to be an advantage for Poirier was actually a disadvantage for him in all aspects of the game, which is unfortunate. I mean, Islam's just too advanced and too good in both areas to get caught.
I'm actually really surprised that you have that take. I would have figured you would have given Dustin more credit for his striking, and I think a lot of people did. And I'm going to do that now. I actually think, though Islam, and like I said after the fight, Islam stands with Dustin, and people are still fucking mad at him. It's crazy. I think that people just hate Islam, and again, I'm right there with you, man, because like I want to see a switch up in the lightweight division. But I actually thought Dustin, when he did have success, it was the most noticeable thing in the whole fight. You know what I'm saying? Like with the cut and all that stuff. And by the fourth round, the third round onwards, he really, really was kind of beaten up. Islam just looked beaten up. I wouldn't say he was like actually kicking his ass or anything like that. But yeah, Islam definitely had better striking. More mixed it up more in the striking. But I think
he did land that elbow. Which does count as damage. Yeah. So he's not Khabib in that sense. He actually got busted open. Incredible.
And I thought that I was shocked how well he did in the grappling. And
that was his best work.
He hurts his leg, I guess, in the fourth round. He said he said he may have torn his MCL or some shit like that. And the round guess that's ultimately led to the sub, which I called it in the fourth round. I think you did. You were close. Right?
You were on the money, pretty much. You were on the money with this fight for the most part.
A lot of people thought it would happen earlier, but I thought Dustin would hang in there, and I didn't think he would do as well as he did. But at the end of the day, I don't think dude, he just has crazy. This guy just has crazy takes. I don't think he's washed at all. I mean, I don't know what from that performance against Islam tells you that Dustin's washed. This is probably one of Dustin's best career performances, if you ask me, in a loss.
It's only he's only saying that he's washed because Dustin wants to retire. Literally, he's feeding into the Diamond Zone narrative instead of using his freaking eyes and looking at what's on screen right in front of him. That guy staying on the feet and surviving, and even landing shots on Makhachev. You could say that he almost surpassed Arman in terms of actually landing damage on Islam and actually having a fighting chance.
Yeah, and so
that's fucking washed.
That's what I kind of wanted to get into. Like, I thought that I think Arman still probably has the best chance to beat Islam, but now I'm actually reconsidering what would have happened if Justin would have fought Islam instead of Max. You know what I'm saying?
That could have actually been really competitive.
Right, like now I'm actually starting to think that he would have had more of a chance because, and as JL says, he got busted up badly. The clinch work from Islam was really impressive, man. He fucked Dustin up in the clinch, and I was kind of surprised by that. But no, man, this was a great fight. It saved the card. The card was terrible up until this point. I mean, I guess the only thing really left to talk about is the fallout. Like, I guess Islam should get Arman. Maybe the UFC will punish him for that, and they might run Charles back or some crazy shit like that. I want to see Dustin fight Justin one more time before they call it a career. Well, okay, well, go ahead. Let me know your opinion on that.
I say this is a performance to be proud of, and he shouldn't feel sad for retiring after this fight.
Okay, you want to hang it up.
He looked fantastic, and people will remember him for almost coming close to winning a scorecard against Islam. So I think that's the perfect way to go out. Didn't get finished besides submission, which he always does, but he did it in the 5th round, which I think is super impressive. And it's Islam, so of course he's
okay. Apparently, I had a terrible take there. Okay, well, I that's what I want to see. What I did see a lot of other people saying was give him the Nate Diaz fight.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that give him some fight that's a big payday and a money fight and have him win.
Yeah, and that's why I think the Justin fight is the only one for me that I want to see him in.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really have any interest in Dustin fighting anyone else. I don't have any interest in fighting Nate Diaz because we all know how that's going to go.
Yeah. And also with Islam, I say just give him Arman, and then once he beats Arman, have him fight Leon, and then see if he wins or not, and then he'll retire.
Yeah, I think that's a terrible idea. I don't want to see him go up to 170, but that's just me.
It's the only way that we get him out of our hair, dude. So
he says Dustin versus Justin again because they're 1-1 against each other. One person's won one fight. And Justin won the other fight, so that's why I want to see it again to see who wins the trilogy.
It'd be.
I don't understand what's so weird about that.
It would be really sad if Dustin got flatlined again on the way out.
Well, that's why I want to see it is because it's like he didn't even get a chance to really do anything, and he kind of just got caught with a shot. You know, it wasn't like he really got beat down or anything like that. And the fight was just starting to pick up before the knockout happened.
I could honestly see them doing Dustin versus McGregor if he beats Chandler rather than Dustin versus.
No, I don't even want to see that for him because again, Dustin's 2-0 over him. I don't want to see that. I want to see a guy who he's lost to and also beaten. Like,
what about Dustin versus Oliveira too?
No, it's gonna end. He's literally gonna get choked out again. Like again,
I mean,
this
either
fight
way,
kind of made me think.
Either way, he loses out. Even if he wins or loses, he loses out. I say this is the perfect time to retire. That's my opinion.
Okay.
He did what he said. He does what he says he wants to do and retire after he fails to win the belt again. And he does it in a fashion that people respect him.
No, he said, I don't know if you listened to the post-fight interviews or not, but he did say he would make his decision later.
Yeah.
I think he should take a year off. Both him and Justin should fight next year, sometime, maybe spring. Give it like a whole year or some shit like that. But that's the only fight I personally would like to see for him.
Right. Yeah, sounds good.
And as far as Islam goes, it's just weird, dude. He's just in such a weird spot. It sucks for Islam because it's like he can't do anything to get in the good graces of the fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he never will, sadly.
Probably not. Just like Leon, you know, the head kick, the Kamaru head kick is like his only highlight ever. So
yeah, well, with Leon, it's more deserved. He's sort of an asshole.
He says, "I don't think Justin fight is worth anyone's time. What happens after either way? Nothing to prove IMO." Yeah, I can understand that, and that's probably why neither of them have called for it either. But I'm just telling you, that's the fight I want to see to settle the trilogy.
All right. Well, after that, I gotta say, horrid card, but good for me.
Card.
Now I learned that when it's a good card, I lose, and when it's a bad card, I win. So.
Yeah, we have to do a final like tally and see who's really up. Maybe we'll go through the whole year.
Oh yeah. Hey, I got something to show you. This was going to be sort of my final comment for the stream, but check it out. Do you see that guy right there? Number 6.
Number 4, right? 6.
Number 6.
Yeah. Tank, and you know, I don't mean to like, and that's amazing. I don't mean to like downplay that because I think I got like number 10 or 11 or some shit out of 80 people.
You were down to, you got 21.
21?
Yeah, there apparently there were a bunch of people tied for 19th and 16th place.
Well, I did terrible then. Never mind. Probably my worst finish of the year besides the fucking what was it? The Canada card.
Here you are. Right there.
Yeah, definitely my worst finish of the year. And this we're talking about the Rush Hour Tapology league. But trash card.
Let me say
probably
thank you for
one of the easier cards.
I don't even care if you lost. Thank you for sticking to your opinion and going for and taking a chance. I think that's the sign of a true predictor.
Well, that's what I do, man. I'm not a bitch. Like, and this is why people gave me so much shit for picking Wilder. It's like, dude, he's my fucking guy. What do you want me to do? Like, you know, and I actually pick the guys that I like, you know, like, and I stay with them. I don't just hop off the train after a fucking few losses, you know.
I think I'm a more objective scientist, so I don't care for the species. I
not
just
even
which one's stronger.
Not even, dude. You picked Steve Erceg.
I did pick Steve Erceg, and he almost
won. Objectively,
damn you,
Steve Erceg.
Because his style absolutely combated everything Pantoja threw with his grappling, and he proved because he got up right on top of him. And
Steve Erceg, you're like, I really like this guy. I believe in him. He's like my new favorite fighter. I'm like, what?
You know that he stuffs the takedowns, and you know that he's a good grappler, and that he can.
Well, I'm just saying, you were like, I like this guy. He's gonna shock the world. He's my new favorite fighter. I'm like,
I said that.
He's had 4 fights in the UFC.
Damn you.
Oh, okay. Now it's just for entertainment. Well, I'm just saying, like, it is what it is. Of course, I'm gonna go with my gut feeling, you know. And I will say this is one of the easier. That's what I was gonna say. This is one of the easier cards to pick because I got 9 out of 12 correct, and I ended up in fucking 21st place. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it comes down to whether or not you get fights perfect or not, which I think boosted me.
And you got a lot of perfect picks.
Perfect. Yeah. But yeah, same thing as 301, man. It's honestly this is the card that UFC 301 should have been. Should have been absolutely rotten with no good finishes, average fights. And this should have had more finishes and been more exciting. But both cards just switched places, which is awful. Hopefully 303 is better than this garbage. I know that Fight Night's going to be better than this. It actually has
probably
that I know and like. So hopefully the gloves don't screw him over.
Well, I mean, I think that's about it for us. We'll get you another podcast in on Friday. Be sure to check it out. We give you guys 4 hours a week, just about, of content. You guys gotta fucking like the stream. Thank you guys,
people.
Appreciate you, Western Mass, Weedy, everybody that joined, even JL, begrudgingly.
Yeah, entertainment value.
But yeah, you have anything else to say to the people? Tell the people.
Look forward to next weekend, you guys. This is where MMA truly begins. Real MMA. We have all sorts of promotions putting on big events, and so it's going to be all-star MMA weekend. Like if you thought this weekend was fun, it was not fun. But if you thought this weekend was going to be fun, I know that next week's weekend's going to be even more fun. We got Cage Warriors, we got KSW, we got Ryzen, we got Octagon, and we actually have a Fight Night card with fans attending. So it's packed. It is packed this weekend. Yeah, head back. Octagon, there it is. Fuck them. Cage Warriors. LFA's there too. One is here. Dude, all the big players are coming to play next weekend. KSW, Roid Freak Central. Let's go. So Ryzen's at the very end because of course those goddamn Japanese MMA promotions.
Wait a second, is Kate Rotello going to make his MMA debut?
Yep, he's an MMA guy now.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
Cage Warriors, LFA.
Oh, and by the way, the guy in the LFA main event was on No Chill's list of prospects to look out for from every state. So No Chill's guy is in the main event of LFA.
Horiguchi versus Pettis. I'm gonna have to watch this one, dude.
Yeah, big time MMA next weekend.
Well, we're gonna go
gross.
We're gonna go like 3.5 hours for you guys, I guess, on Friday. So
absolutely, yeah, it's gonna be a movie marathon.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, that's it for us. We're out of here, and remember, MMA is supposed to be fun.